time to listen to the presentation. We're going to be talking about churn and the practical application of big data so that we can help combat churn. Just a very quick intro to who MPP are. We are a leading cloud-based provider of CRM and e-commerce technology. We call our platform eSuite, which is designed by the media and entertainment sectors to help them embrace digital content monetization strategies. MPP Global very much is a global company, and that affords us quite unique insights into the global behaviors of consumers, as well as the different business models which are applied by media companies around the world. With the advent of big data, one of the big problems that we have in the digital world, in the offline world as well, is churn. There's a number of different players now, from the manufacturers, the content producers, the cable networks, and the new companies, the new kids on the block like Netflix, and the new services from existing incumbents like Now TV. These all have the same challenges. So as I've said, churn is that major challenge. So what is churn? Churn is when existing customers, and in MPP's world, that is a paying customer, decides they don't want to pay anymore, and that customer, or the MPP client, loses that end user. 50% churn is a pretty big number, I think we'll all agree. So who do we think has 50% churn? Well, the true number, according to Sanford and Bernstein, is between 40 and 50%, which they think is the number that Netflix experience. Now, Netflix themselves, I guess, wouldn't publicize what the true number is, but if it's anywhere near 50%, they've got a heck of a challenge. That means to maintain a customer base of 60 million, they need to acquire 30 million new customers every year just to maintain that same number. Everybody who has a subscription-based economy, a subscription-based business model, needs to reduce that number as much as it can. The equation is very, very simple. I'm sorry, the full equation hasn't come up properly. Oh, yes, it has.
I'll go check.
So it's very easy. The number of lost customers in a given month over the total number of customers at the start of that month, multiply it by a percentage, and that's your churn number. Whether you're at 5%, 10%, or 50%, the objective for the marketing teams in media companies has to reduce that number by as much as possible. So why do companies struggle with churn? Well, the obvious ones are quality of service, the content that is available, the quality of customer care. Companies struggle to identify those customers who are likely to churn, who are the high-risk customers. Maybe they're not personalizing services, they're not re-engaging with customers, they don't know which customers to re-engage with. They're not offering offers or campaigns or vouchers or extended subscription periods to the right customers because they don't know who they are. And when they do churn, are they producing effective win-back campaigns? So these are some of the questions that we like to answer or try to answer using big data. So what is big data? Well, is it a modern buzzword? Is it a fashion for what we always knew as data warehousing and business intelligence? Or is it something that's different and real and better? Well, I think the latter. Mainly because the big data engine, as we like to call it, means that the data sources can be multiple data sources. All the data does not need to live in a single database. In fact, the databases could be on different continents. There could be 6 or 10 or 20 different data sources. And it's what feeds into the data engine so that we can start to do some clever things with the data that comes out the other end. The analytics cog, this is the visualizers, this is the Hadoops and the other technologies that help us crunch billions of records of data and allow marketeers with the WYSIWYG tools to be able to apply information, create pie charts, graphs, and other management reports to make sense of that data. And finally, event-driven processes, which I think is the most important cog, which is the ability to apply big data in real time. And by applying big data in real time, it means we can do an awful lot of very interesting marketing-based campaigns or event-driven processes. So what are the data sources? Well, they are multiple. As I say, there could be 10 or 20 of them. We've got financial data, subscription data, such as when a subscription is about to expire. We've got financial data, so we know if a customer is paying by bank transfer, credit card, PayPal. Does that affect the profile of that user? Is their behavior different based on their credit card? Is an Amex Gold Card user different to another credit card that we can work out through the IBAN number? We have CRM data. We have a data wall. This means we can monitor any freemium traffic. If we're giving free video away, we can work out, one, how many free videos should we give? We can also identify what category that video falls into. Is it mainly sports content or current affairs or documentaries or movies? All of this forms the different data sets or the different data sources. We also have social sign-on and social data pretty much for the first time. With an integration into Gigya or another social network, we can automatically access profile from Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and so on. Match that with the end-user data that we have, whether it's financial or subscription-based, and suddenly the profile of all of your customers is extending, extending, extending. We know John, if he likes sports, if he likes to drink red wine, if he's a golfer, what publications he likes to read, what movies he likes. This all feeds into the big data engine. Analytics. The vendors out there that are producing high-end technology services so that we're able to churn huge volumes of data. As you can see, there's a minefield. MPP has navigated this minefield and chosen Tableau and Pentaho as the visualizers to make sense of the various data sources our clients like to use. The visualizers do just that. They link the different data sources together. They allow the marketeers with the tools to create the graphs, the pie charts, and the event-driven processes that allow some exciting things to happen. Event-driven processes. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, and this is where we can start to predict churn, have dynamic pricing, and so on. We've got customer profiling, which we've talked about, dynamic pricing, win-back campaigns. So we'll try and touch on each of these as quickly as we can. Only got 15 minutes. So, a snapshot of behavior, geography, demographics. It allows us to build up a socioeconomic profile for our end user. Are they using the latest generation iPad, or are they on an old laptop, which is Windows 98 on IE7 or something? You know, this allows us to make a conclusion about that user. What credit card do they use, or are they prefer to pay by PayPal? How old are they? Where do they live? What are their likes? It allows us to build up socioeconomic information. And from that, we can do some dynamic pricing, for example. This is quite a controversial subject. We've seen it in the mobile network market, where the person you're sitting next to might be on the same mobile network, but pay a completely different price. Dynamic pricing is much the same. If you've got a customer who's been paying for 12 months, has an Amex Black Card, is logging in 4 or 5 times a week and consuming 20 movies a week, You know they're a high-end customer, you know they're a stable customer, and in terms of churn risk, they're probably about 0%. So guess what? You can charge them more. You can make more money from those customers. By having dynamic pricing, you can apply different business models, exciting business models, so that you can extract more value out of existing customers. If they're a high consumer, they're consuming more content, there's an argument to charge them more, put them on a bigger package or bundle. In terms of predictive churn, this is the most important part of today's presentation. So it's pretty obvious if a user is on a 1-month free trial, even if they've entered their credit card details on day 1, which doesn't start the billing cycle until the start of month 2, that there's a very high propensity for those customers to churn before the end of that first month. That's pretty clear. That's not rocket science. We need to make sure that towards the end of that period, we're making sure that user's logging in, that they've downloaded the app, that they know about the content that they're most interested in. But what about those customers who are at risk after 3 months or 5 months or 6 months? What about those customers we know haven't logged in for two weeks? What if they used to log in with a tablet and an iPhone, but they're not logging in through the iPhone anymore? You know, we need to re-engage those customers. We need to send them an email. We need to say, hey, we can see you've not logged in for a little while. You know, the last time you logged in, we will know through big data that they were, I don't know, a New York Giants fan, that they consumed a lot of American football content. We can show them what they missed out on, what's coming up, remind them of the app and what great content is on there to re-engage that customer. What if they don't re-engage with a couple of days to go? Well, let's say we might just extend their subscription for 2 weeks or another month rather than risk losing them. It's really these kind of tools that we put into the hands of the marketeers in MPP's customers so that they can use those sorts of models, that kind of thinking, and extend that into their own business with the big data tools to be able to do it. Unfortunately, there will always be churn, so we need to have effective win-back campaigns to make sure that when those customers do churn, that we can win them back. Most often, this is down to a promo code saying, come back today and have an extra month or week or whatever period of time on us. But we can use big data to personalize that win-back campaign. We know what content they liked, we know what devices they have. We can do more, we can do it better. Real-time predictive pricing, this isn't related to churn, but it's related to the anonymous user. Again, building up socioeconomic profiles, even with anonymous users through Google Analytics and other information we can extract from that customer, we can apply dynamic pricing. If in a freemium model through a paywall or other kind of meter, the user is consuming mainly sports content, we might offer them only a sports pack if the socioeconomic profile of that user is in the lower bracket. A pack which is $5 a month instead of the all-you-can-eat $20 a month pack, which we might apply to a different type of user. So predictive pricing can help on customer acquisition, and big data can help in all these areas of acquisition, retention, predictive churn, and win-back. So some conclusions there. I won't go through them all. Thank you for your time.